What's going on, my motherfudging beautiful folks? It's your boy, your brother from another mother. So just a couple of nights ago, I was thinking about something that really got me thinking about the things that we're going through in life. Like, some of us are going through the same stuff. Some of us are going through something that somebody is going to soon go through. Or some of us have just experienced something, have gone through it, that someone is going to be going through. And what ends up happening when we go through something, or when we're in the midst of something, we seek out counsel. We ask somebody else, what we're going through, what have you done or have heard that could decrease my perceived suffering? Or you've noticed somebody going through something that you've gone through and you've been like, hey, let me talk to you for a second. The thing that you're going through, I've gone through it. And this is what I've experienced. To kind of put on the table all the chips. This is what to expect in this chapter in your life. These are the things that I learned. These are the things that you could learn. But those chips all laid out are literally what that person can expect to encounter, and maybe some maneuvering that they wish they would have done when they were going through it, or maybe some of the maneuvering that they did when they were going through it that worked, maybe stuff that didn't work. It's kind of like when you get advice about, what control settings you should have in your game, or what peripheral devices, triggers or controllers, things like that could help. Maybe some sensitivity settings, maybe some weapon or module setups that could help. Maybe they're struggling with, bots that are, we're talking about war robots, but bots that are always in quantum radar, that are in their stealth and they don't have quantum radar. What types of things can they do to kind of chip down that player's bot, decrease the likelihood of them having full health when they come out of stealth? You know what I'm saying? So I was thinking about, in this chapter in life, it seems like everyone is going through some type of suffering, whether it's financial, emotional, spiritual, psychological, physical. And that's on top of the other things that are going on. Maybe they're going through something, maybe they're going through a rough breakup. Maybe you're going through a rough breakup. And the whole social distancing thing is further exacerbating or making things worse because of the whole social distancing. You can't get out and get to know people. You can't find another person because everyone is doing their own social distancing thing. I don't know. Or it could be that, you maybe have lost a job and I all suffering, I'm putting it all in a basket, and everything that I mentioned, whether it's the loss of a loved one, maybe to cancer, maybe to COVID, maybe to, old age, car accident, or a job loss, or just anxiety, depression, hopelessness, suicidal thoughts, like all of that in a basket. And I pray for every one of you equally, because I don't want anyone suffering, even though that suffering is the human condition. We suffer and we learn more about ourselves through that suffering that wouldn't have been present in a state of joy, or not a state of bliss, or contentment, or whatever. So all of that being said, every one of you I pray for. But with all of that suffering that we're going through, it's almost as if, and this is the epiphany that I had a couple nights ago, is that we go from one suffering to the next, and sometimes the suffering that effect, the depression, the loss, the lost, maybe I'm making up a word, like the lostness, the ongoing feeling of being lost. It just keeps going, or the depression, or the anxiety, or hopelessness keeps going. And then we suffer another suffering. And it's almost as if, like, when one thing we've weathered has come and gone, we don't sit still long enough to realize all that we've endured or weathered. We feel this feeling of that we can breathe again, that we can muster enough strength to take another step or breath where was once not there present. And we just keep going until the next suffering happens, the next event occurs. So the moment that we're born, we're met with discomfort. We're trying to get the approval and the love, affection of those that brought us into the world. And then when we're stripped away from them to go into school, we're doing almost the same thing for the approval and acceptance of a tribe. And that goes on through elementary school, middle school, high school. And some of us experience trauma in the form of, sexual abuse or bullying or drug addiction. And then when we go through that, we, get into, the college ages, the 20s, 30s, and trying to find our plot in this world, our land of where we're going to spread out and kind of establish our grounds. And then marriage or children or whatever. And then as we get older, everyone else gets older. And then the people that brought us into the world, if we had them in our lives, or if we have them in our lives, they are no longer the Clark Kents or the heroes that we knew them to be when we were growing up. And they're getting older and they're having their own ailments and showing their signs of age, where the choices that they were making when they were in that high school, middle school, early 20s ages, their choices are catching up to them, and their body's saying, I'm just tired. So one trauma after the next. We survive one, we keep going, we keep ourselves busy, we fill it with as many things as we possibly can to remind us that we are still alive and still kicking and still capable. And we just keep going. And then another setback. And then next thing you know, you're having this epiphany, like I had, where you realize that we're suffering, the totality of self, your mental, physical, psychological, emotional, physical, spiritual, relational, financial, educational, vocation, career-wise, like all of these different aspects of who you are all suffering together, the we. And you forgot what it was like to be. Sometimes I drive, like right now. I'll drive and I'll just drive in and do my neighborhood, and I'll drive in other people's neighborhoods. I'll look at houses. I'll look at, like right now, just looking at Christmas lights without the radio on. I don't have my hearing aids in right now, so the higher frequency noises, like when I hit bumps and stuff, I don't hear. Like right now, I barely heard my keys move, but I would hear maybe change or something in the back seat or something in my dashboard or something that would move or jar. But right now I don't have my hearing aids in, but all I can hear is the sound of my engine accelerating. I can't hear the tires. I can't hear the wind. So I'm the closest as I could be to silence. And I think about where I am in my life, where we are, the totality of myself, everything about me, where I am geographically. Yeah, I know where I am, but my status, my life wheel, the measurement of where I feel I am of 0 to 10. If I look at myself in my wholeness as spokes to a life wheel, which each one would be, a 0, a 2, a 5, a 9, a 10. And I ask myself how I'm feeling. Am I restless? Am I breathless? Am I feeling burdened by something? And I might even vocally ask, why am I feeling that? Why am I thinking that? I listen to my thoughts as if they were on the radio and speaking out loud to where I can actually hear it, physically hear it. Where am I? It's like if you go through, your hangar in War Robots, or you go through your backpack in PUBG Mobile and see, what are your tools? What do you have in your bag? What do you have in your hangar that's going to help you based on, not really going to help you, what is going to assist you in getting another win? What is not? Are you carrying around a bunch of things that in reality, if that bag was full with those things that you would never use, are you just feeling heavy, like it's preventing you from being your best at that moment? Maybe it's perspective change. Maybe, looking at, let's say the beginning of, the best analogy or best metaphor for that would be, in PUBG, because I don't really see it being as applicable in War Robots, but gauging your effectiveness, your strategy, measuring it based on a win or a loss. Because if you think about it, every single win had a multitude of smaller wins, whether the wins were you practiced and perfected maybe your shot, your aim down scope, or your reaction time, maybe your tactics. I don't know. There's a lot of wins, little sub wins within the one big win. It's going from suffering to suffering, trauma to trauma, not taking enough time in a season of breath, reevaluating direction you're heading into. Maybe that's what we need during this time. Maybe we need to take a step back, go into solitude, and look at things from an aerial view, 10,000 feet up, looking at all of the facts, all the feelings, all the opinions. And maybe we just need to listen to ourselves instead of looking for the answer elsewhere. But also finding comfort in that know that we're not alone in this turbulent time or times, that there are others that are going through something similar, and then just because their situation is not the same as ours, maybe you lost somebody that you cared deeply for. Maybe it was a family member, a friend, coworker. Loss is loss, but through your loss, I'm quite confident that if I were to ask you to share with me some things that has helped you or has hurt you in becoming the best, happiest, whole self that you can have been or be, I'm sure you would be able to give me some little nuggets. And with those, I'm sure I can do something with it or with them to make my day just a little better, maybe to be a better listener for people. I don't know. But one thing I do know is that we got each other's back, y'all. We have to see it. We get to see it. We have to feel it. We get to feel it. We're all blessed to be a blessing to each other, and look for opportunities right now, tonight, tomorrow morning, this afternoon, whenever you see this video, if you stay with the whole video. Let me know in the comment section what you guys think, what y'all think, for real. I want to know. Because I care about y'all, and I really do want to know like what your victories are, what your epiphanies are. Share them, because I can guarantee I need to read them, and I'm sure the other person that's watching this video needs to read them. I love y'all. I do. Those are some pretty lights right there. Dang. Can't believe it's already Christmas time. It was just Halloween, just Thanksgiving. And you got Hanukkah. And I know there was a couple other holidays. I can't even remember. My brain is a mush right now. No matter where you are in the world, I hope you, your friends, your family are happy, healthy, and safe. until next one, I'll holla at y'all. Be good to everyone. Be patient with everyone. Be good to yourself and be patient with yourself. You'll know what I'm talking about when you get to that point. Love you guys. Peace.